If you've been in a job for many years and you want to make a change, but you're hesitating to shake things up, I got you. Today, I want to talk to you about the unexpected thing that's probably going to hold you back. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to share what exactly that is and the one simple thing you can do to get unstuck and move forward quickly. I'm Anthony, I'm a career satisfaction coach, and I help thoughtful and introspective people just like you design and step into a career that you love. Now, let's be real for a second, right? Because for all the excitement that comes with taking on a new challenge, we need to talk about how hard it is to do that, to actually shake things up, right? And yeah, there is the tactical how-to, and that's a challenge of navigating that process. But today, I want to talk to you about how to manage the emotional side of leaving your job. Because whether you realize it or not, this really matters, right? And if you don't pay enough attention to managing the emotional side of things, this is actually what's going to hold you back, right? That's because if you've been doing the same thing for a lot of time, for many years, you've most likely attached some part of your identity into that job, right? And who could blame you, yeah? Like, this is the job where you spend the vast majority of your waking hours. It's seen you through countless challenges and victories. It's not just a paycheck, right? It's where you build countless relationships, you build routines, you've built a sense of stability and familiarity that maybe you've started to take for granted, right? So when you put all that together, of course, it's really hard to think about changing any of that up, right? I wouldn't want to, even if it's a change for the better. And look, I totally get it. It took me almost 8 years to leave my last career, even though I knew it wasn't for me. And even though I knew that what I was going for was going to be way more exciting. The reality is that even if a job or a career is no longer serving you in the big picture, if you're still in a role that you've been doing for many years, there's probably something in it that is still serving you, right? And think about that for a second, because if that weren't true, you would have already left and we would be having a different conversation. In my experience, the number one thing that keeps people where they are is uncertainty. Like, we as human beings, we absolutely hate uncertainty. But the one thing we hate even more is feeling uncertain about whether we'll have to give up something we value. So even if intellectually you know this is not how it works, emotionally it can feel like if you rock the boat at all, you're going to lose everything that you care about. So we freeze. Right? I call this the uncertainty freeze. Now, for better or worse, that's just how humans are hardwired. But you know what? If we can work with our nature, we can actually get somewhere, right? Instead of having to white knuckle our way through it or just getting stuck in the freeze. So what I have the members of my Career You Love community do is make a list of what you value that is keeping you in your current situation. So even if in the broader picture it isn't serving you, again, there is enough in there that is keeping you there. So if you want a checklist as a thought starter to kickstart that process, just drop me a line below and I'll be happy to share a link with you. So what goes on this list, right? Maybe it's a really convenient commute or something that's like maybe a remote and you get to spend more time with your family. Or maybe it's the steady paycheck that's keeping your rent coming in on time. Or maybe it's that you have a genuinely good boss that defends you from the rest of an otherwise dysfunctional culture. So whether you use my checklist or you pull out a notebook and you start journaling, make this list, right? Come up with a list of what you value and what you're currently doing, because that is a list of what you need to respect in your search. This is what you're going to want to at least stay the same, if not get better, in your next role. Or if you don't, if something's going to get worse, that is a trade-off that you willingly make instead of an unpleasant surprise you find out after the fact. Because look, the antidote to uncertainty is to just start making one little piece clear at a time. figuring out what you'd like to preserve is a really great place to start. It tells your brain, hey, I'm paying attention, right? And I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that we're safe and we don't lose anything valuable, right? That's so important. That if you can do that, you can get things moving. Now you can come up with this list on your own, but I made a checklist for my clients because it's twice as fast to pick items off a list, and that usually gets your brain just going with more ideas. So if you'd like that list, hit me up and I'll be happy to share it with you. Talk to you soon.